This is Lab 4, Magnetic Braking with Faraday. The introduction. The purpose of this lab is to utilize Faraday's law in order to computationally model the interaction between a bar magnet and aluminum tube, as well as observe how moving the position of the magnet causes a changing magnetic field to induce an electric current within the conductor. The computational predictions will also be compared to the observed data within the experiment. The fundamental physics principles and models involved are those of Faraday's law, Lenz's law, Newton's second law, and magnetic flux, which is explained in the next slide. A brief preview of the main findings of this experiment are that both the computational model and the experiment showed that the electromagnetic induction causes the falling magnet to have a decrease in speed. The experimental average time of magnet within the tube was found to be 1.81 seconds. The computational time of the magnet in the tube is 1.76 seconds, and the difference between both models is 0.50 seconds. The principles utilized are Faraday's law, which states that changing magnetic flux through a conductor causes electromotive force to occur. Magnetic flux is dependent upon the magnetic fields that passes through a specific area. Lenz's law states that current opposes the change in magnetic flux, meaning that magnetic force opposes the direction of motion. Newton's second law states dp over dt equals ma. The system is the falling magnet. The surroundings include the conductor, which is aluminum tube, earth, and the force of gravity. And the initial conditions of the experiment are that the tube is in a vertical position, the magnet has been released from rest, and the dimensions of the tube are known. The length of the aluminum foil tube was 0.247 meters, the width was 0.0185 meters, and the inner radius of the aluminum foil tube was 0.0130 meters. The experiment consisted of first measuring the tube, determining the North Pole, starting the video and the timer to record the measured time, and then dropping the magnet to record the fall time, and then repeat 5 trials. The experiment procedure involved measuring how long it took for the magnet to go through the aluminum foil tube. Computational analysis consisted of first inputting the known measurements, such as length, width, inner radius, and then radius. Step 2 included determining the magnetic dipole, and then in the end, the net force was determined by calculating magnetic force plus gravitational force, and the time in tube was found to be 1.761 seconds from the graph. The results and discussion. The experimental model took 1.81 seconds. The computational model took 1.76 seconds, with the difference about 0.05 seconds, where the difference is equal to experimental minus computational. Sources of error could be found from not taking into consideration other forces such as drag force, the value for the magnetic dipole moment, and the timing of when the magnet enters and leaves the tube due to human error. The conclusions are that Faraday's law are confirmed, Lenz's law does explain why the magnets slow down, and the results of the simulations match the experiment. The what-ifs and the conclusion. What if for the first what if the resistivity of the conductor was reduced as close as possible to 0, this would allow larger induced currents to form, creating a stronger opposing magnetic field, which also increases magnetic braking, causing the magnet to fall much more slowly. What if holes or slots were cut into the tube? How will this affect the ring currents in your model for the second what if question? Cutting holes or slots into the tube would interrupt the closed current loops, in turn reducing or eliminating the induced ring currents. This would cause the opposing magnetic force to be weaker, causing the magnet to fall faster.